In this video, we're going to do the extra credit. Well, it says extra credit in the book. It is actually an assignment for you guys. You do not have to turn this one in, but I do want to use this as a demonstration so you guys understand what's going on. I'm going to take this image, and the book asks that we change it to go to adjustments and change it to a black and white image. So under adjustments, not under presets, but under single adjustments, we're going to scroll down here until we get down to black and white. This is going to change this to a black and white image. You'll notice that we have red, yellow, green, and then cyan, blue, and magenta here as far as colors. If we look back at here, we have all of those colors in here. Not so much magenta, but we have all the other ones are definitely prevalent in this image. So if I go up here and I click on this hand, it says click and drag an image to modify a slider. I'm going to click on this, and let's do the blues first. I know the sky is blue, so if I click up here and hold my left mouse button down and drag to the right, it will brighten that image up. If I drag to the left, it will darken that image, and you can see in the slider over here in the blues that it is moving that up and down. So I could just change the slider over there, but this is just another way of attacking this editing. Okay, so maybe I'll just edit that down a little bit. Maybe I want to adjust the green, so I know greens are down here. If I click and I drag maybe, oops, and obviously there must have been yellows. So if I hide this, yeah, it's kind of more yellow than green, and then show this, maybe let's do reds. I'm going to go up here, click and drag, and you can see my red moving. Okay, so again, just kind of adjust it how you want. They also want you to click on the tint, and then if they want you to understand that you can change this tint color. If you like this tint, great. If you don't, you can click on this color swatch and you could pick another color. I could go bright, I could choose a whole nother gamut. Obviously that's a little on the bright side, but if I was doing something that was monochromatic, maybe I wouldn't need a poster that I just want one tone, this would be a great way to get that particular color that I was shooting for. I'm going to say okay, and again, this you do not have to turn in, so I'm just going to go ahead and save this. It's a good idea to save it. I'll go ahead and save it as autumn. I'm going to save this as a PSD since I'm not going to turn it in, and that is fine. Next thing that I ask you to turn in for this is to apply that to an image of your own. Okay, so I do want you to find a picture that you're like, oh, I need to make some edits to it. Maybe there are things you want to remove in it, because I do want you to change the color in this and then add two other things that we've learned so far. Okay, so in this particular image, I wanted to use this for one of my profile pictures, and what I did not like about this, we were in Greece and they were doing some construction on the Parthenon, and if you look back here, you can see that. So I wanted to remove this. I want to straighten this out because I was taking a selfie and I was just kind of in a hurry, and so I do want to maybe use a generative fill, because if I use the crop tool and I try to straighten this, it is going to look a little weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment, because that is one thing I do want you to do, a color adjustment. So I'm going to go to adjustments, and you are going to, now if you don't want to use black and white, that's fine. If you want to make an adjustment that is curves or levels, because maybe you want to brighten or darken an image, that would work as well. Okay, just make sure you note that. If it's not something I can really see, you're going to have to, I can tell if it's black and white, but I can't tell sometimes because I did not ask that you turn in the original image. So I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to do a black and white just to make my life easier. And maybe I want to just make some minor adjustments. Maybe I will increase the blues a little, or make the blues a little darker. Maybe I'll make my yellows, which a lot of times will affect the skin tone, a little lighter. And I'm pretty good where that's at. I don't even want to add a tint to it for my purposes. Maybe I just want this image to be black and white. Okay, after I get my color applied, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure I go back down to the background layer just to reassure that we are working on the correct area. And I want to crop this. That's now one of the things I want to do. You could crop, you could add text even. You could, I'm going to also remove this construction back here. It's kind of not good. And maybe I even want to remove this person right here. Okay, so you are just going to pick a couple things that you learned in chapter 1 or 2. So I'm going to click on the crop tool. I've decided too that I want a particular size. I want a 1 by 1 square. Okay, so I am going to make sure that I choose 1 by 1. I'm going to go ahead and instead of straightening, because I don't really have a line that is straight, I'm just going to kind of turn this and straighten this myself. Now, I don't want to cut myself out, so I'm going to expand this out to about my hat, and I'm going to scoot this over. And you can see that I'm going to have some issues, and the issue is going to be, I'm going to scoot this up just a little bit. And the issue is going to be that over here, I am going to have white here and white here. So instead of just filling the background, I want to do a generative expand. Okay, so I do want to make sure I fill generative expand. And then I'm going to go over here and down here in the contextual bar, make sure that nothing is in there. And you can go ahead and check mark that. And it will start generating. It says you can perform multiple actions simultaneously as cropping and expanding and rotating. So it is going to take a minute. And then it should give us 3 options, and we'll see how well it does. Okay, so here is option 1. We went from this to this. I don't know what this is supposed to be, so let's see if I found another one. That one's better. Okay, it's kind of trying to mimic my shirt over here. So I think that one looks pretty good. I'm not too sure about this up here, but I can always edit that here in a minute. Or do I like this one? Again, not real crazy that they're trying to put, I did have a strap here. Do I want a strap here? I don't know. Maybe I think I like the second one better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with that one. And again, I could have gone over there, or I could go right here. So I'm going to stick with the second one. And the next thing I'm going to do is I want to get rid of like this little piece right here, and then maybe this woman right here. So I'm going to go in here and grab my remove tool. Now, when I click on my remove tool, one thing I want you to realize is it's going to be looking at the layer that you are currently on. I am currently on the generative expand. Since I've decided that I like this and I'm content with this, I'm going to take this layer, and I am actually going to right click on this, and I'm going to say merge layers. Okay, I'm going to merge those two together. So that means I can go up here and maybe edit some of this mess back here. Okay, but I'm going to also get rid of this. So I'm going to use the remove tool. And I'm going to zoom in, because zooming is going to be your best friend when it comes to things like this. I want to increase my brush size, so I'm going to use my right bracket to increase my brush size, and I'm going to just kind of go over this person here. Once you're done, zoom out. And then when you submit this, make sure it's a PDF. Save as. I'd probably go up here and fix my hat too. Go ahead and save as. And we're going to save it as a Photoshop PDF. Make sure it says PDF at the end and hit save. Make sure preserve Photoshop editing capabilities are on. Save PDF. I'm going to say don't show again. Yes. Now I'm going to go into Pilot, and I'm going to go to my assessment Dropbox, and I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to add this in here. File. Make sure it's the PDF. I'm going to add what I did to it. I'm going to go in here, And I'm going to put, I did a color adjust. I used the remove tool to remove construction elements from the Parthenon and people. Crop tool, I did the straighten image, and I also used the generative fill expanding background.